This Sunday in Cooperstown, New York, Jasper, Indiana native Scott Rolen will be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. That means the native Hoosier will take his place as one of the greatest third basemen of all time. But did you know the scout that signed Rolen to his first professional contract was a former science teacher at Snider High School? Yeah, Norm Kramer passed away 24 years ago, but in some ways this Sunday will mark one of his biggest achievements in all of baseball. Originally from Tell City in southern Indiana, Kramer was a Marine, a former minor league pitcher, a teacher, and a coach. Eventually a scout for the Philadelphia Phillies, he scoured the Midwest for 33 years, searching for future stars. And back in 1993, just a few years after retiring from teaching biology and driver's ed at Snider, Kramer found one that's now headed to the Hall of Fame.
In my book, my dad is a legend. You couldn't tell a story like that and make it believable, but that's the way it was.
After serving as a tail gunner in the Marines in World War II, Norm Kramer came home and began pitching in the minor leagues during the summer, while in the winter, he played basketball at Butler for legendary coach Tony Hinkle.
It's amazing. He was 5'10", 175 pounds when he played. By today's standards, he's a little guy. How did a guy that size ever play 6 years of minor league ball? I don't know. How did he ever play guard at Butler? I don't know. The guy was tough as nails. That's all I can tell you.
Eventually teaching and coaching, Kramer moved to Indiana towns like Decker, Bruceville, and Shelbyville before landing in Fort Wayne. During his journey, he crossed paths with legendary scout Tony Lucadello, who helped Norm get a scouting job with the Phillies.
You know, basically when spring rolled around, from about, March till about October, he saw about 200-300 baseball games. He was gone in the summer, but he loved it because he had played pro ball. He was still chasing the dream.
In 1993, Norm found a diamond in the rough down in Jasper.
He said when Scott would hit the ball, he would just crush it in the trees. Obviously, my dad signed, other major leaguers, but Scott was the best baseball player, everyday player that he ever signed.
The only problem, when the Phillies drafted Rolen in the second round, he was already an Indiana All-Star on the basketball court and had committed to play college ball at the University of Georgia.
Rolen picks up his ninth bucket.
To try and get him to sign and play baseball instead, the Phillies wired a six-figure signing bonus to a bank, had Norm pick up the cash in a briefcase, and bring it to Rolen and his parents.
He said he was more nervous about that than he was fighting the Japanese in the Solomon Islands. My dad told him, if you sign today, that briefcase is yours to take. And Scott goes, can I open it? And he goes, well, absolutely. And he opened it and he looked at all the dollar bills in there, and I think I'll sign today. And that started his career, and forever Norm and Scott will be linked.
I never thought I was going to be, a Hall of Fame player, but, I never thought I'd get drafted. I never thought I'd make it through the minor leagues and major leagues. And I wasn't born and raised in Jasper, Indiana to be a baseball player.
It was the last guy my dad ever signed. He retired in '94, passed away in '99. And 24 years later, here he is with a Hall of Fame signee. It's an amazing story.